podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. Original.
Yoinks! And away!
Basic.
Yoinks! And away!
First edition.
Yoinks! And away!
And then...
I says, Pigpen, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to put the hammer down.
Welcome to THACO, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
I think I might want to do dual class Mage Thief.
Okay. Well,
Simply
that'll be
because-
interesting.
And he's going to
Okay.
specialize in wands.
Okay.
Oh,
you
no,
Yeah.
no. I refuse to be the guinea pig for that experiment. No.
Come on, man.
I
Do
think-
chromatic or wands.
I...
His six shooter.
Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer, Splatbook35 here. We're just getting ready. Got my DM screen up and all that. And this is DM Glenn, by the way, and I'm here with DM Brian.
Good afternoon, people.
Howdy do. Glad to see you. And some guy who just sort of wandered back to the podcast named DM Cory.
What is this thing we're on? Where am I? What is this paper?
Yeah.
Look what the cat dragged in.
This is not my beautiful wife. You're in a shotgun shack, son, playing D&D. So.
Hi, everybody. How you been?
There are going to be more than a few people are going to be happy to hear your dulcet tones, Cory.
Yeah, I heard. Well, let's
Is
make
that what they
we can
call-
keep them
dulcet tones, is that what they call it?
Something like that.
I'm just happy to have him back. That's good.
Yes.
Let's go into hits and crits.
What are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? The burlesque, Louis Paradise, miserable and lonely and stupid. What am I, crazy or something? I got something good here. What am I hanging around with you guys for?
Hits and crits. Hits and crits. What did you guys do lately in D&D? We're going to start with Cory.
Well, shoot, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Let's see. Still running my 2 D&D games back to back. Been running a campaign every Saturday, flip-flopping groups, simply because I can't tell anybody no when they want to join the D&D table. No.
That's the first thing you got to learn when you become a DM, to say how to say no.
I just taught you how, Cory.
Just finished my experiment with my overhead projector, and it's working 1,000%, and everybody is now in love with it.
Can't do without it, huh?
No, I got the projector attached to the ceiling, and it's pointing straight down at the table, and it projects the map from my Photoshop right onto the table on a white poster board. And essentially, I have the ground as a layer, the grid as a layer, and essentially I have like a layer of black that I can erase as the characters move forward.
Uh-huh.
And these guys are just like, and it's a lot easier than stopping the game, standing up, walking around the table, dry erasing the table, and then pulling out more markers and drawing again. It just makes the game by go so much faster. We get so much more.
See, I like doing that because that's the only time I get any exercise.
Oh, well, I'm always standing anyways when I DM. I found out, I was reading up on some pages, but I found out standing, it's a whole different thing when the DM stands and walks around. You keep everybody's attention more.
True. But can you still use the DM screen?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't do it because I have bad feet. So
Oh, well.
I walk around after 10 minutes. I got to sit down.
Yeah, well, you can have a chair back there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I've been doing, working on this campaign.
Okay, cool. Maybe we'll hear more about it in the weeks to come.
Yep.
How about you, Brian? What's up?
Oh, let's see. Just I completed a job this week, and I haven't been doing too much in the realm of role playing or DMing because that job was really physically demanding and mentally stressful. But it's pretty much over and done with now. So I'm still going through all of my material, trying to figure out what I'm going to put you guys through if you survive the hill, and we'll just that's pretty much what I've been doing as of late.
Yeah, every room's going to be more Sturges. No.
No, just more well-armed orcs. Goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can get our fight on. That's all right with me.
Mm-hmm.
And me, what have I been? Well, I've been not a whole lot. I haven't got any new books to speak of, except I did get a copy of Lords of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded so good. I saw it at half price. I picked it up for like $5, and then I looked at the cover and go, "Hey, wait a minute! This is first edition." But that's okay. It's still good. It's got some really nice stuff in there. And I made up a character for our Overlord Vince is running a 1E game later on today, and he's doing Oriental Adventures.
Nice.
Cool.
And I wrote up a monk, and we've got people like Thorky in there and Dizzy Saxophone off the boards and things like that. And it looks like a lot of fun. I'm playing a monk called Hoodoo Dad.
You and your names, Glenn.
Who's an ex-farm boy who carries around the scythe from when he used to work on the farm. And he basically incorporated that into his martial arts style.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes.
Nice. Emails.
I'm looking at the emails right now. All we have is a voicemail.
A voicemail. Well,
yes.
why don't we listen to it?
Yeah, I'll fire that up if you give me a moment.
Hello, Thacker's Hammer Crew. This is DM Cal, your dual-class Ranger Bard. Having just listened to your latest show on the Great Outdoors, and specifically motivated by DM Full-On Gamers' recounting of the wonderful use of Fire Trap, I have to say I think it is one of the most underrated spells because it has so many creative uses. Just as he aerosolized flour to create a giant explosion, I played in one game where someone made best use of the Boyer-Fletcher proficiency I've ever seen by creating hollow-hinged arrowheads out of wood that they packed with sawdust, clasped shut, and then fire trapped, so that when they shot fire trap arrows, they had basically napalm-headed arrows. It was something that they were able to do very early on in level, and then they just started grinding these things out and selling them, which led to one of the more interesting things of they sort of revolutionized technology in Faerun as they were playing it, and it sort of resulted in them starting to be ambushed by bandits who would buy fire trap arrows because they were so effective. I would love to see you guys do a piece on just sort of interesting and effective uses of spells that, sort of push the boundaries of what you're able to do by just using a little bit of logic and ingenuity. So until then, thanks for keeping on bringing the hammer down, and best wishes to y'all. Bye.
And that's that.
Full-On's going to steal those fire trap arrows.
Fire trap arrows. I'm gone for a couple months, and the world goes to hell.
You're just jealous you didn't think of it first.
You're damn right. It's friggin' ingenious.
Yeah.
It's a genius.
One second. When I was listening to this voicemail last night, I was thinking, there's a little bit more involved with napalm than just sawdust.
Right.
There's like gasoline or another accelerant involved in that. And I'm like, you could probably use like Greek fire or something like that to simulate gasoline, but yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, then you're getting into science and black powder.
You're mixing my science with my D&D, damn it. I will not stand for this. Anyway. Yeah.
Wow. So that's pretty ingenious. I got to say, that's some thinking right there.
Who was that again, Brian?
That was DM Cal.
Thank you, DM Cal.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm stealing it.
You just made our live play podcast a little more dangerous. Thank you.
My wizard thief.
I wonder if I was thinking about maybe I could sneak this into Vince's game. Oh, look, fire trap arrows.
Should be able to fill them with gunpowder then.
I'll have to talk to the Wujian about that. And I think that's all we got for emails, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, cool. Let's go into people skills.
The face is familiar.
It's mine.
And so it is.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands out a mile, doesn't it? He's so common.
A little lady comes in here and starts throwing her butt around. What is that supposed to do?
All right, forget I said anything.
Maybe I will.
Well, that's pretty good.
Don't tell me you weren't looking at it.
Well, that's not half bad.
She's giving it right back to you.
People skills.
And we're back with people skills. What do we got? The Cavalier Kit from the Complete Fighter's Handbook. Now, this guy's been around for a while, right? Cavaliers?
Yeah, been around since, Dragon Magazine at first, but that got imported into first edition through...
Unearthed Arcana.
Unearthed Arcana, yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of the more, to me, this is one of the more controversial kits, or I think it started out as a class, didn't it?
Yes. Well, it was a subclass of, no, actually, if I remember right from an Unearthed Arcana without actually opening the book, it became its own class, and a Paladin was a subclass of Cavalier, which was weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. Now it's just a little old kit.
Yeah, they just distilled it down to a kit, which is good.
It's still packed perfect. I mean, it's what it needed to be. In my opinion, I didn't think it needed to be necessarily its own class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, yeah, there's some nuances of it that's separated from a fighter, and there's a definite nuances that's separated from a paladin.
Yep.
But it is essentially a rich fighter. I mean, you boil it down, that's what it is.
And they're basically saying, give it to your paladin, and people are going, well, wait a minute, aren't paladins like this before? You know,
yeah,
he says,
no.
Well, not really.
No, if they want to be the complete paladin, take the Cavalier Kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen arguments like this on boards where basically they think the Cavaliers are the jerks of the party.
I think
they can.
I think a lot of that has to deal with all of us growing up thinking Paladin or Cavaliers were little cowards behind the shield that the little DM. I think that's where that comes from. Hey, I want to be a prick in this game. How do I do that? Well, you be a Cavalier. You get a shield and you get to fucking complain about everybody.
Yeah, and run away and be the first to run away from danger.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, this kit is nothing like that. I mean, the first thing is that they get a bonus to attacks with any lance, and that's at first level. At third level, they get a bonus to hit with any one type of sword they choose.
Yep.
And
that goes up +1 every 6 levels.
That's correct.
That's ridiculous.
You want to know what? Compared to the first edition, and okay, disclaimer, we're not first edition bashing. We don't do that here. With first edition, the Cavalier class was so, I hate to use the word, but it was overpowered. I mean, any party that had a Cavalier in it, especially once the Cavalier got like his suit of full plate armor, you know, it was just ridiculous. The bonuses that class got, especially in the middle to upper levels, just made it really, really.
I'm complaining to the
over
mods.
top.
The Cavalier needs nerfed.
Sorry. Yeah. No, they nerfed it pretty good here. I mean, the bonuses themselves are not that major, even combined with like exceptional strength and things.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, they brought it down to reasonable levels compared to the first edition. When the first edition one was just like, I win.
There's still some nice pluses as they go up in level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of my NPCs, and you might actually, if you guys get up high enough in level, one of my NPCs is an 11th level Cavalier, and he is going to be he's going to get his land grant from the Duke. He's going to be I think he's going to be a Baron at the end of it. I have to look at the politics, but what ends up happening is he gets a tract of land in the western part of the duchy, and he's going to hire adventurers to help clear that land out. Make treaties with the good denizens of that area and take everybody else out. While his keep and his town his keep and his village are being constructed. So
nice.
Go ahead.
One of the other abilities I like on this kit here is that +4 to save versus all magic that would affect the mind.
Yep.
That's just
that was interesting.
Yeah, dude. That right there. You know what that's called? That's called an Illithid killer. I'd be taking one of them into the Underdark.
Funny you should mention Illithids because we talked about that last episode.
Yes, I know.
We did talk. We talked about Mind Flayers, copyright 2000, Wizards of the Coast.
Very nice.
But also something else is that Cavaliers are completely immune to fear. Totally immune. And
right, they are.
And the best thing about it is that he also he has such a high amount of courage and bravery that he radiates the emotion spell of courage in a 10-foot radius.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so if you stick close to him, you're not afraid either.
Yeah.
Very good for fighting
And-
dragons.
You know,
I was
if I was a thief or a wizard or a cleric and I'm standing beside a guy in a big charger and he's got plate mail on and a giant lance, I don't think I'd be that afraid either.
Yeah, this is true.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
you go
just
first.
stay behind him.
I'd look up at him. Yeah, you go first. So I got
Yeah,
your back.
I'll protect your back. Exactly.
I was looking at the +4 to save versus all magic, mind magic,
Mhm.
and I guess the downside is you have like a cloak of bravery. You may not be able to use it.
He doesn't
Or
need it.
any
Really.
positive things that were what?
No, he doesn't need it.
True. Okay.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
Okay.
You know,
I'm saying the plus side is things that affect the mind for a positive would also not.
Mhm.
You have a +4 to save on those, which is.
Yep.
Well, once again, isn't things if you want something to happen, if you're willing, you don't have to do the save.
yeah, you
Yes,
don't have
can
to resist
accept
it.
You can
Yeah.
auto
Yeah,
fail the
uh-huh.
save.
Okay.
One of the main things I like about the Cavalier that they balance out between the comparison to the first edition monster class was his hindrances here, man. Some of the things that he can't use range if he has the ability to charge up and attack the guy face to face.
Right.
He's not a coward that's going to sit back with a longbow and fire into melee. He's going to wade right in there with a sword.
So
I mean-
he would be of no use to like a band of guerrilla fighters.
No, absolutely not. Well,
No.
first of all, he's not going to be going cling clank through the bushes trying to hide from an army that's invading when he's in full plate mail. You know.
Right. That's number one. Number two is probably his code of honor wouldn't allow it.
Yep.
You know, that's something else that the DM and the player have to converse about before the Cavalier comes into play, as it were. Okay, what is this guy's code? What does he go by? I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, his code is. I can see a lot of players possibly failing trying to attempt to keep to a code.
It's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, the hindrances in this class, this kit here. I mean, like the other one that's on here. What is it? He's got to have the highest quality plate mail.
Yep.
It even says right here he prefers a suit of ordinary field plate to a set of banded +5 mail.
Mhm.
So if he sees magical armor that's lower AC, but he sees a better one that has a better AC that's normal, he's gonna take the normal one. I don't know any player character that's not gonna go, yeah, I think that's right. I want the plate mail.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Everybody's looking for them pluses. Everybody's looking for the pluses.
Right, I agree totally, but yeah, that's part of the thing is that has to maintain a certain look. As a matter of fact, while you guys talk, I'm gonna pull up my that NPC because I want to talk about the code a little bit.
Okay.
All right, just
so he follows the code.
Yeah. This
Yeah, this is even worse than alignment for paladins.
Not really.
But he gets three.
What?
So it's like he gets 3 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is that this is, at least to me, in my own experience playing a Cavalier, it's a little less restrictive than a Paladin, but not very much. Not very much at all.
And the only ones who can take this kit are humans, elves, and half-elves.
Yep.
So there are no Dwarven Cavaliers, I'm sorry to say.
Yes, they are. If you look
It
in the
could
Dwarven kit, they're called Rapid Response Riders.
That's true.
That's right.
That's very true.
We
And
talked
didn't
about
you guys
that.
cover that in like
Yes,
episode
we did.
1?
On the very
Yep.
first show.
Yep. I thought I'd bring it back, bringing
Yep.
it back.
That's
It
a
all
good
comes
callback.
back to the beginning, yes. Yes, it
Good
does.
callback.
But yeah, here he is, my
That would be-
Cavalier.
That would be a pretty cool character to play. Maybe doing a normal fighter, and the background could be he's a fallen Cavalier, and you can give him the permanent -3 reaction adjustment to members of his own culture.
Yep, that works.
Just have a fallen Cavalier who's just a normal fighter now because he lost his code 3 times. But what about this character? I want to hear.
Okay, here's his code of honor that was come up with. His first one, be generous. That's part of his code of honor. Be loyal to your comrades. death before dishonor. When he gives his word on something, he will move mountains to try and fulfill it. Defend the weak and innocent. He is honor bound. Even if it's just, say he's walking down the street somewhere and some, thugs are trying to shake down a merchant or something like that, and it's obvious that the merchant won't be able to defend himself against them, he's going to intervene. Do not be blinded by anger. That's also another one. Fight with honor. That means I modified this for this character, means that he can't use missile weapons that are not thrown by hand.
Nice.
Like bows and crossbows, like daggers he can throw.
Spears.
Spears, exactly. Never harm an innocent.
Halflings.
Yeah. Halfling. Dwarf. He has an 18 double odd strength.
Then yes, he's throwing halflings and gnomes.
Yes, he is. He's doing dwarf tossing, yes.
Yep.
Another thing. I mean, this... let's see, prove courage in word and deed, which means, of course, if you make a claim or a threat or something like that, you back it up immediately when it comes down to it. Serve your king and country. He's very loyal to Duke Stefan, Duke Stefan Karamakos, and because of his loyalty, he's being rewarded for it, the tract of land. Uphold freedom and justice and all that is good, so... With this code, he's basically any slavers he's going to basically try to take down. But that's basically, these are the guidelines to his behavior. And
so let's see, protect innocence.
Yep.
Don't fight in anger.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the Force here, right?
Yep.
You want to know what? I just did this. I used another reference source to create this code, but when I finished it and I was looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, he's a Jedi.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And I didn't do that intentionally.
He uses duct tape. It has a light side, it has a dark side that binds the universe together.
That's right. Remember they're called Jedi Knights.
Oh, ooh.
Very true.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Yes, well played.
Thank you.
Well played.
So, Cavaliers, a lot of stuff for you guys to look at. If you got any Cavalier stories, like Bruce, like Brian has.
They call me Bruce. What?
Great movie. Great movie.
Yes, it is.
Which one?
The first one. Okay. And then, of course, there's a sequel. They still call me Bruce.
Right. But Bruce Campbell made one called They Call Me Bruce, too.
Yes,
so.
that was a good movie, yes.
Yes. Okay, well, yeah, tell us your paladin. I just cannot talk today. Cavalier Stories at THACO's, send it to THACO'sHammer@gmail.com, and we have a number, right?
That is 405-806-0555.
Leave off the
and OSR Gaming, Dragon's Foot, D20 Radio, Nutkin Land, Purple Worm, all those other kind of places, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple of them.
Facebook, Twitter.
We have a Twitter account?
Yeah, I did. I opened that about 4 months
up
ago.
the world.
Oh yeah. Well, we gotta get the word out there, man.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So let's get another word out there and go to Magic Fingers.
Eeny, meeny, chili beanie, the spirits are about to speak.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me. Supernatural, perhaps. Baloney, perhaps not.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers. Okay, all about girdles.
Yes.
First thing I think of is Elmer Fudd. Don't laugh.
Oh my god, you would take that back to Warner Brothers, wouldn't you?
See, first thing I think of is Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah.
Danny Glover's wearing the girdle and he takes his shirt off and they're all making fun of. Oh, 3, yeah.
That's 3.
That was it's not a girdle. Back support. It's a girdle.
Yep, and they're all busting his stones about it.
Yep.
Great.
That essentially gets role played in my game every time someone finds a girdle. Yep, that gets role played. It's not a girdle, it's a back brace.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you will find this, of course, in the DMG, the girdle giant strength anyway, and probably a few others.
Yeah, more than
but
a
if
few.
you if you take your Encyclopedia Magica, turn to page 530, you'll find a whole plethora of girdles.
Yep, plethora of girdles, yes, indeed.
Plethora. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The usual joke ones like girdle of masculinity, femininity. We've got girdle of giant strength, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarven kind.
Yep.
And they do a girdle of many pouches. I like that. I bet that's for gnomes, right?
Well, it could be for gnomes. I bet gnomes probably invented it, but
that's the pouch is a miniature bag of holding. I like that.
Yeah, small little bags of holding, exactly. But that actually I saw in Unearthed Arcana. That's where that came from. But they put it in the second edition DMG. It's a wonderful little idea of it, or not idea of it.
Now here's one: a girdle of back defense.
Yes.
So you could actually wear this and say, "It's a back brace."
It's a back brace. It's a back brace.
Yeah, to keep thieves from sticking pointy things in it. Exactly.
Now let's take the basic one that everybody sees as girdle of giant strength.
Yes, indeed.
Now, in here they've got you can get several flavors of it depending on which giant it's imitating.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they even have a chart. They have a percentage chart in here too.
Yep.
That you would find.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's put this on you, the Incredible Hulk.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
This if the gauntlets of ogre power, I can't talk either, are a fighter's best friend. A girdle of giant strength is a fighter's wife.
Yeah.
Because once a fighter gets this, look out. Yeah. I mean, I remember back in my 1E playing days when these things were flying around with regularity, high power, ultra power gamer campaign, which went on for several years. But yeah, girdles of giant strength, every fighter either wanted one or had one. And yeah, the damage bonuses and the attack bonuses are just, they scale up with the power of going all the way up to Storm Giant Strength, which is plus 6 to hit and plus 12 to damage.
Looking at the entry here in the red Encyclopedia Magic on page 534 for the Girdle of Giant Strength. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that it's under Girdle. Girdle of Giant Strength. Girdle. Everybody knows what a girdle is. Girdle of Giant Strength. First sentence. This belt looks similar to ordinary belts.
Well,
really?
A girdle is just a large... In the medieval terms, a girdle is a very large belt.
Yeah, it's essentially
it's not what Playtex came up with back in the 60s.
It's a WWF belt turned backwards. It's essentially a weightlifting belt.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that, but the point
is
like,
a back
it looks similar to ordinary belts.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in the end, you could make a girdle of giant strength just be like a simple leather belt if you wanted to, But at the same time, most of those see it as like a wrestling belt. There are a couple of pictures in here of in the Encyclopedia Magica. Like if you scroll up a little bit, there's a girl standing by somebody's bed, and she's got a girdle on, which goes down the middle of her chest, around her waist, and goes a little further down. That's pretty much.
That looks like a girdle of chastity, actually.
Yeah, might as well be.
Yeah, I essentially do that. I did that one time in a campaign we were playing where you make girdle of giant strength, and it's got big giant gold placards on it, and the guy's like, well, is there inscriptions on it? I'm like, yes, it does. It says world champion on it. Like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, it's a giant strength belt.
That's great. That is absolutely awesome.
And of course, then the bard got into it. Well, I want a legend lore. I want to find some information about this and see what's going on with this. And I'm like, there's a name on the inside. What is it? I said, it says Andre.
Oh, that's great.
Thank God.
Awesome.
I thought it was gonna say Cena.
Oh no, classic. I said Andre the Giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. May he rest in peace.
But when I use these belts in my game, what I like to do is do a little bit of a downfall with them, which, in my opinion, you're gonna get 23 freaking strength from a Cloud Giant strength belt girdle.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't go, hey, look, I got a magic item. It gives me 23 strength. I'm normal walking around. What I've done is in my campaigns, you pick up a girdle of giant strength, it has a sort of downfall. Okay. What it does, it eventually, the longer you wear it, it slowly starts giving you the look and hue of said giant.
Ooh.
So you sort of look like a mini giant.
Exactly. And what that does is, if you go up against any other giants and they see this, they're immediately drawn and you're targeted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, then it becomes like, okay, get ready to rumble. You know,
exactly.
And Michael Buffer's voice comes out from the heavens somewhere. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, like you got a belt, a girdle, giant strength, fire giant. Your hair starts turning red,
and your skin starts turning black.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You get a reaction adjustment from the humans because you're walking around picking up horses by one leg, and lifting it up while you're dusting underneath of it. You're going to have a reaction from people.
We'll call you Pippi Longstocking. Yeah.
And, you take the belt off, you leave it off for a while, you can slowly go back to normal. But, I mean, the more you wear it, the more you're taking on the attributes of the giant that you're wearing. That's just one of the things that I added.
That's actually very cool. I like that. One of the things I did with a girdle of giant strength is if it was a normal one, you could just wear it normally and it was fine. But if it had a quirk in it, or I would roll with these kind of powerful magic items. Every now and then, I just roll to see if it has a quirk, and if it did, what it did is that it gave you, giant strength as normal, but it would tax your normal strength, you know. And what would happen is that you could only wear it for like, say, 3 turns or something, or use it for 3 turns, and after that you'd have to rest for 2 turns for every turn that you used it. So if you used it for the full 3 turns, you'd have to rest for 6.
Got it.
Just so that players just don't walk around with these things and just automatically think that they're the bee's knees because they've got it. Every now and then you have to do that.
If I take Cory's logic about them starting to look like a giant to its logical conclusion, if you wear it for long enough, pretty soon you will start to, how shall I say, grow.
Oh, you mean grow in size?
And grow in size.
That's something I do.
Then you're going to start thinking like.
You mean it eventually turns you?
And eventually you evolve into a giant for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, that'd make a good curse, actually.
Yeah, that'd make a good curse.
I mean,
or
and the last thing would happen was your alignment change if there was one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, considering that, if you had a hill giant strength one, your alignment would slowly shift to chaotic evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I like that one because that would be a fun curse to have to get rid of. Because can you imagine them being stuck underground for a while, and he picks up the girdle of giant strength off this dead body, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this works pretty good." And all of a sudden, man, it's getting tight in here. Is it getting cramped in here? Or is it just me?
Yeah,
and then pretty soon, if you wore it for like a year or something, you never took it. Some guys never take it off.
Of course. Yeah, those are the power gamers. This is for them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just imagining like the wizard up front or the ranger up front sighing, the wizard behind him rolling his eyes, the halfling thief behind him, and the fighter wearing the girdle of giant strength who's now 15 foot tall doing a belly crawl down a corridor because he can't.
It's like, will you just take it off? No, I will not. And once that happens, that's when you better have a.
I have this image of this old peasant couple, and all of a sudden this 15-foot tall giant knocks on the door and stuff. All they see are his knees. They go, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Would you recognize me?"
Wow. But I'm looking at other girdles like the gold. No, go ahead.
I can't believe they have no less than 3 girdles of changing gender.
Yeah.
Because I just read about the gender alteration. You put it on, nothing happens. You take it off, poof, you're the other gender.
Oh, that's wrong.
Wait, did you say gender or ginger?
Gender.
Oh.
Fine.
No, it doesn't turn the wearer into a redhead. No.
No. When a character puts a girdle on, nothing happens. When it is removed, however, he or she has become a member of the opposite sex. All this fact is apparent only to observers and not to the wearer. And it only functions once.
Yeah. Yeah, that's messed up. Then the character wonders why all the males are hitting on him. It's like,
why is it?
I could see the mage saying, "You have boobs now." What?
Look
No,
down.
I don't look down. Everything's normal to me. Oh, that's an interesting curse.
Why are lecherous guys walking up to me and like faking if I have fake boobs and grabbing a feel in midair in front of my chest?
Exactly.
I have boobs. No, I don't. Look down. Nothing.
Look at the steel mirror.
Wow.
Yeah, that's messed up. What else we got? We got a girl of priestly might here.
Yes. Yes.
Might. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is something out of Forgotten Realms, but yeah.
Yeah,
this is for priests and basically gives the wearer an 1899 strength and a +2 AC bonus.
Yeah,
so that's
I tossed this to the priest. I said, "Here,
yeah,
protect the medic. Give it to the medic."
Then there's one called Priestly Warding, which gives the above powers plus protection from evil. Then there's the Holy Might Girdle, which gives all the preceding powers of the other two, plus do Word of Recall once a month. So imagine that.
Mm-hmm. They have a girdle of dwarven kind here. What if we put that same curse on here? Oh, you got all the benefits of a
I
dwarf.
know someone who did that.
You know, really?
Yes, it was one of those where everything was fine if the person who put it on was a dwarf, but if it was a human, it would, like, over the space of like 3 months or something like that, it would turn that person into a dwarf. Yeah, and they had to have like a really high level remove curse in order to stop it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that may not be a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I've ever seen that's done that was like, oh God, what is that thing called? The Axe of Dwarvish Lords.
Yeah.
That artifact. I have that adventure. One of the things that happens is that, as you have that artifact, as you possess it and you use it, it turns you into a dwarf.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it's out there, But there's a huge adventure, second edition adventure. We should actually do that one. I think it's in our show list. I'm going to put that up soon because that's a very good adventure to talk about. But let's see.
And I was looking, and they have a girdle of Armida.
Yes. Girdle of Armida.
My jaw dropped when I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's name is Armida.
Really? Spelled like that?
Yes.
Really?
Exactly.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
But
and it's like, Mom.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. Oh, this is like a minor artifact, really. I'm looking at it. I mean, it gives powers like Charm Monster, Confusion, Change Odors, and you can memorize 3 additional spells. This is for wizards, by the way. And the handicap is that you take extra damage from when you're attacked by beings that have natural weapons like claws, bites, and hooves and things like that. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is an artifact.
This is one of those. This is one of those Swiss Army knife type artifacts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the handicaps are pretty bad. But I'm looking. Yeah, these are great. All these artifacts, all these girdles, they're just wonderful. I mean, half these things I didn't even know existed, like the girdle of freshness.
Yeah,
that's from Top Ballistas.
I'm just imagining, a cleric and her holy mother walking down the beach. Do you feel not so fresh?
No. Oh man.
Sometimes, here, honey, try this magic item I found on my
God, yes, the girdle of freshness. But no, what it does is that it protects against odor-based effects like troglodyte stench, which is pretty damn powerful if you blow your save. But
if it's an attack, you're protected against it.
Exactly.
Odor attack. Yeah. So, like Cory, you've thrown any other girdles around besides giant strength and such?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple girdles that I use that I'll interpose the word girdle and belt because I'll go in and use some of the belts and turn them into girdles and girdles into belts, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's one that is it's what do they call it? Where did I find it? I got to remember where I found it. I'll post it on the forums if I can. It's essentially like a housebreaker's harness, but it's a magic girdle that essentially will bite into any object with it has a bunch of leather thongs hanging off with hooks on the end, and it's for a thief that can hook into a wall or whatever.
Ooh.
the thing, and then he can sit back in it like a chair.
Oh, it's like a climbing rig.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool! You could wash windows in.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember, I specifically remember that one because I remember the party was doing something specific, and the thief just happened to get that. And all I remember is the cleric throwing the rod of resurrection to the thief, or was it? I think it was that. But all I remember is the party was almost a total TPK, but the thief climbed up the roof into the corridor, hooked himself to the ceiling like he's a spider.
Yeah.
And essentially the whole mob ran by, killed the rest of the party, and then later on he dropped back down and brought everybody back to life. And he's like, hey, this thing came in handy. I'm like, I didn't even think of using it that way. I was like, you guys are pretty clever.
Too clever. Yeah.
I used a girdle, many pouches before. The other one that I really, 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 really like has to be the back defense one.
Really?
Yeah, just it negates any back attack bonus because it spoils surprise attacks, and you give that to like the ranger or somebody who's scouting up front. Or whoever's in the back. Give that to whoever's in the back. There's a bunch of them that you can use.
Give it to the wizard.
Yeah, there you go. Give it to the wizard.
Never know when some assassin's going to come up.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the middle of battle. Hey, there's the guy throwing the spells. Can you sneak up behind him and stab him? That kind of thing.
Yep.
So belts, girdles, either way. We like them all. Tell us about it. THACOshammer@gmail.com and all the other places. Okay, we're going to be loaded for bear now.
Bet you don't have a pair of these, Earthling.
And for the big critters, sometimes you got to bring out the nuclear weaponry.
Loaded for bear.
Loaded for bear. We like these hammers. Big, small, tooled, bedazzled. We like hammers.
Bedazzled.
I'm not bedazzling my hammer.
No, I'm not going to do that either.
I'll let Liz bedazzle her hammer. So, you'll find these in the DMG, of course. Is it DMG or the Player's Handbook? Yeah.
You can find them in the Player's Handbook, but also in Combat and Tactics, which actually differentiates between throwing hammers and Warhammer.
On page.
Oh, you would tell me that. I actually converted the chart. I was using the converted chart.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll find out. You guys talk.
And of course, the Arms and Equipment Guide.
Yes. There's
the
another
popular
place.
Isn't that we also in did you say Combat and Tactics, Brian?
Yes, Combat and Tactics.
Yeah, okay, Player's Option. Yeah, of course. They're gonna do that. And let's see, dammers do what kind of damage?
A
regular old swinging hammer.
The Warhammer is 2 to 5.
Warhammer.
2 to 5, 1 to 4. You can still throw a Warhammer. It's the same. The two have the same range. It's just the throwing hammer is smaller, more portable. I can see like a dwarf who uses a Warhammer. He can have 2 or 3 little throwing hammers, on his belt to use at range. So he doesn't have to get rid of his main weapon. But
I found something interesting in the rule cyclopedia.
What's that?
They will not according to the rules, they will not let dwarves have anything you won't have any kind of weapons past medium size.
Why?
So I do not know.
Now,
that means the big old dwarf with the big old dwarf hammer you don't see in basic.
Well, yeah, you do. I mean, the thing is, in basic, a Warhammer is a large weapon. In second edition, it's a medium weapon. So,
okay.
Yeah, gotcha. That's the major difference, really. But
my problem with Warhammers is, every time I think of a Warhammer, I'm thinking of a 5-pound sledge or a 10-pound sledge. I'm thinking of Thor's hammer on a 4-foot pole or a 3-foot pole.
Well, you've seen.
Historically speaking, and knowing what a Warhammer looks like, it literally has a head that's no bigger than like a freaking Red Bull can. Simply because it's meant for getting through armor, and it usually has a pick on the back, a small point, so that you can pierce plate mail. And I think that's what I looked at the damage for a Warhammer, and I'm like, if you're hitting me with something that has the head of like a Foster's oil can, you should be doing more damage than 2 to 5.
Yeah, I agree.
And I always thought that the damage was a little low for Warhammer. That's why one of the main reasons why I never pick it. It's just in my opinion, you're going to be swinging a Warhammer. You're swinging Thor's hammer. That big giant block of steel on the end of the pole. Not this little rinky dink plate mail beater. And it's just like, I don't know.
No, I totally understand. I totally get it.
Every time I draw dwarves, whether it's Dinkus or our mascot or anything, I always give them a Warhammer that looks like a block of cement on a stick.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think Warhammer.
I agree.
Yeah,
historically speaking, though, it's a really small head.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. That kind of lends to it. Lends to it only doing 2 to 5. I think.
Yes.
But yeah.
Look at the film of Lord of the Rings. Look what Gimli's carrying around.
That's
more in line with.
That's an axe, isn't it?
Yeah, all he had was axes. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're right. He was, but I mean, the hammer's the same way. I mean, his axe wasn't all that big.
No, it wasn't.
It's what he did with it.
Yeah, and you'll notice those axes weren't bladed either. They weren't. It was kind of weird for me to see it because his throwing axes had blades because he had like hand axes that he threw, but his main weapon, that battle axe, it was like. It was squared off. The edge was squared off. It didn't come down to an edge.
That's weird.
It was weird. It's sort of like a battle axe that did blunt damage, which was, I just found that strange.
That'd be a great thing for a cleric to carry,
I agree.
It's not going to edge on it.
Yeah. I'd allow that. If I was being strict about blunt weapons, I stopped doing that a long time ago. But yeah, I'd say, okay, yeah, you can do a D8 damage with blunt damage with that. No problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Warhammer, I agree that it should probably be like 2 to 7. 2 to 7, 2 to 7, 2 to 5 would probably be a better damage range for it.
Yeah.
Just to bring it up to standard. As far as the throwing hammer goes, that's pretty much fine where it is, a D4, D3. Because that's the thing about blunt weapons is that they tend not to do as much damage to large creatures as they do to small and medium.
Yeah, like different weapon types do different damage like abilities, or they have different modifiers depending on small or large. I noticed that. Like, I think blunts do more damage to smaller, slashing does more damage to larger.
Yep.
And piercing does, I think, even both.
It's about even. There are exceptions. I'm looking like the crossbows tend to do more damage against large creatures, but then again, that's so they penetrate further when they hit them. But yeah, the throwing hammer. I remember I did a NPC, of course, a dwarf, and I decided to completely redesign him because of the difference between the Warhammer and the throwing hammer. Even though, you know what, I'm looking at the chart right now. Screw it, I'm gonna alter it. You know what?
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, I'm changing a rule. Damn it.
I found it weird, in my opinion, that like if you look at the player's handbook on page 68 and 69 where the weapons are, there's no throwing hammer.
Yeah.
I thought that was. I was like, where the hell are the throwing hammers at? Everybody's like, just use the hand or throwing axe. I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. It is weird.
So you're telling me if I'm going to use a hand or throwing axe, which does D6 damage to small or medium, it's going to do possibly more damage than my Warhammer, which does 2 to 5.
Right.
I'm like, that makes no sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it.
Doesn't sound very sensible to me.
Yeah. To me, it makes more sense. It does make it makes more sense that way. I just lost my train of thought. My apologies.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's not your fault.
You changed a rule. I think that's what.
Yeah, you were changing something.
The rule Warhammers in my campaign do 2 to 7, 2 to 5 now.
2 to 7, 2 to 5.
I'll remember that next time we play.
Nice.
I don't have one. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Warhammers. Hammers. We love them here at Texas Hammer. Do you love them? Tell us all about it. Usual places. How about that?
Yep.
Let's go to Snipe Hunt.
If you only had a living brain.
What do you think? Escaped gorilla?
Listen, you're making enough noise to wake up the dead.
I don't have to wake him up. He's up.
It's time for a Snipe Hunt.
And here we are, the Snipe Hunt. We're going for the Rakshasa. Rakshasa, thank you. Okay, follow me on this. They came up with the Rakshasa for basic, which they imported into second edition after a while.
Correct.
The Rakshasa for first and second edition, which is a demon. Now, the other was just cat people. This is a demon. And then they came up with a module called Rahasia. I'm thinking TSR ran out of names.
Well, you have to also understand that's like over the space of 15 years, some alliterations.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if you're, but in the OSR, we're all throwing it together and all this other stuff.
Well, I gotta tell you, looking at the Rakshasa that we're talking about here, I just gotta say, they're great.
See, this is what I don't. Here's one thing I don't understand. They say Rakshasas are a race of malevolent spirits encased in flesh that hunt and torment humanity.
Correct.
No one knows these creatures' origin, but they always present them as a tiger man.
Correct.
Why a tiger man? There's other ferocious creatures out there.
Well, that's because, as we just, as Cory said earlier, the Rakshasa is basically taken from Indian mythos, and in the Indian, we're talking, what is it? What do they call it? Indian from India. Let's put it that way. The tiger is like one of their most. The tiger's like one of their most powerful, one of their strongest images of power there is, because there are tons of tigers over there, or at least there were. So yeah, I mean, it's basically a monster out of Indian myth.
Yeah, and if you notice on here on the next paragraph that you were reading from, Glenn, it says right here. They had no uniform appearance, but appear as humanoid creatures with bodily features of various beasts, most commonly tigers and apes, which are two creatures found over near India.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Now it says hands whose palms curve backwards. Okay, I think the first edition one said they fold backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I had the hardest time wrapping my head around that.
No, it's because basically their wrist doesn't, like with humans, the wrist, the hand stops at 90 degrees perpendicular to the wrist. With Rakshasas, it goes further back. That's what it is.
Right. Okay.
That's gross. I knew a kid in middle school that could do that. That was gross.
Oh man!
I should have stabbed him and got some XP.
There's
a Rakshasa in my middle school. What's wrong with you?
You would have needed a +1 weapon to do it.
That's true.
These guys look like the master of illusions.
Yes, they are. They are.
They human meat.
Yep.
And that's how they get it.
Yep.
Wow, what a great tie-in. I mean, we had the Cavalier who needs the most prettiest armor and the best armor. It says right here, Rakshasas of the highest standing, sometimes have several heads. All Rakshasas wear human clothing of the highest quality. So what we're looking at is a bunch of preps here. They got to have the nicest clothing, like Izod shirts, little polo on this corner.
Oh, come on now.
Would you like to go up and tell him that?
No.
No, you'll die.
Yes, with a warhammer. Yeah, with a proper head.
Or +1 warhammer if you're lucky. Okay.
And they're basically mortal.
Yeah, they can be killed, but it's very tough. They have a -4 armor class. If seven hit dice, which makes them. This is a monster you need to really use sparingly as a DM because, like I said, you put 2 or 3 of these things together, or the maximum you can see, which is 4. They can take out a high-level party that's not aware. Let's say,
mm-hmm.
They can
without even breaking a sweat.
Yeah, exactly. They have ESP, which allows them to disguise themselves as someone the victim trusts, and they have a 7th level inability of spell casting. 4 first level spells, 3 second, 2 third, and 3 first level priest spells. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Wow.
These things are gross.
Wow. Yeah. And the biggest thing.
Thought Death Knights were bad.
Oh yeah, Death Knights with Rakshasas. Or now you got me doing it. The thing that makes
all out for this wand of chromatic orbs and take it.
And I say thee nay. Anyway, the biggest thing about Rakshasas is they're immune to all spells lower than 8th level. 8th.
Yeah.
Now
dude.
that's changed from first edition because I think they were immune. As a matter of fact, I think that may be wrong because they were immune to spells lower than 5th level before, or lower than 4th. Now all of a sudden it's 8th.
Not only that, you need a +1 to hit them, and even if you have a +1, you're only doing half damage. You need something bigger than a +3 to do full damage. These are walking monsters, man.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. Like I said, they're really tough to kill, but they have a weakness. They have one weakness.
Ultimate cheeseburgers from Jack in the Box.
No, not quite.
What is their weakness?
A blessed crossbow bolt. If you hit a Rakshasa with one, it will kill it instantly.
Yep.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That is better than those fire trap arrows.
Yeah. Oh, by far.
What if it's a blessed fire trap crossbow bolt?
Then goes boom,
goes
and they die.
Nice.
Up in a fire of flame. Yeah.
The thing to tell a small story about Rakshasas. In the gold box game, Curse of the Azure Bonds, towards the end, when you're wandering around Mistranor, you run into these things constantly, and you have to get in their face and beat on them, so they won't cast spells, or you have a couple of characters in the back with crossbows, with blessed crossbow bolts, so you can kill them, and those were the toughest monsters in the game, hands down. Because all it would take is for them to get initiative once, and then they're throwing fireballs, cones of cold, and all these not cones of cold, ice storms and things like that on your party, and they can do TPKs within like 2 or 3 rounds if you're unlucky.
Wow.
And these things, another thing that shows that they're linked to the Indian society is, it says here in the habitat that the society is bound by a rigid caste. Each Rakshasa is born into a particular role in life and cannot advance.
Yep.
Because that's the way, the caste system is in the Indian culture.
Yep.
But looking at the other upward levels of their culture, I mean, the Rooks, the Knights that they have, the greater Rakshasas, that changes from you need a +2 or better to hit them. And only that still does half damage. You need a +4. Then you go down to the Rajas, and it's like they now have the casting abilities of a 6th level priest and an 8th level wizard to cast at 11th level of ability.
Yep.
But the ridiculous one's the Maharaja, the head of them all. 13 plus 39 hit dice. Are you ridiculously crazy? That's a dragon.
Yep. Yeah, most likely. Yeah. Spell casting dragon.
Probably keeps a red dragon as a pet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, they have casting abilities as a 13th level wizard and a 9th level priest.
Yeah.
You haul these guys out as the big bad of the climax of the campaign.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. I got something to say about that actually.
What's that?
There is a region far to the west of where my campaign is right now, and yes, it gets a little confusing, between the names, but yes, in that area there are Rakastas, Henge yokai, and other beings like that. Some humans, elves, that kind of stuff. But they're in like this repressed area because the entire region has been taken over by Rakshasas. And and that's sort of like a campaign that I'm going to. I want to drop it on somebody at some point, but it is like very high level. I'm talking like 9th, 10th minimum. And because you're going to be up against Rakshasas, you're going to be up against the Rooks, you're going to be up against the Rajas, and there is a Maharaja in charge of all of it. And at the climax of that, at I'd say probably close to 20th level, maybe at the end, you're going to be trying to take out the Maharaja and basically destroy the clan.
Yeah, you and your army.
Yep.
Have you ever used these before?
Oh yeah.
I have too.
Yeah, and it's like I said, you have to make sure that the party has either the ability or the wherewithal, or more preferably both, have the ability and the wherewithal to deal with these monsters, because they can. If you are an evil bastard,
yes,
you use I know you are, Corey. Yeah. Yeah, removal of limbs. Enough said. But with a party of 4 regular Rakshasas, you can take out a high level party if you do it right.
Yep. The one time I used them, story time.
Oh, go.
I had the group. They were level 8, level 9,
Mm-hmm.
trudging through a swamp, heading towards a town that they had to get to aid for their quest or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Paladin was in there. I think they had 2 clerics. One was a dwarf, one was a human, and then they had like a couple other classes in there.
Mm-hmm.
Running out of food in a swamp, being harrowed behind them by swamp trolls. And essentially, they came across this estate sitting in the swamp. Like it was a keep. So they, of course, knocked on the door, and the paladin's like, "We need protection. We need sleep. Whatever." They're let in, and they see a normal old man, red hair. It was a Rakasa, using illusion. Detected evil on them. Of course, he was protected in his own keep. Yeah, I had some items in place to keep his alignment from the players. So they were fed dinner, or they were brought in, let it walk around, and essentially the little halfling decided to go off on his own and sneak around the castle, see what he can see. Well, later on in dinner, everybody came down to dinner, and they were fed a nice big hearty beef stew and big venison on the table and what have you.
Don't ask what's in the stew.
And the paladin turns and goes, "Hey, where's the halfling?" I fed the halfling to the rest of the players. So the paladin actually had to deal with the fact that he's now a cannibal and he's eating other flesh. And the cleric went literally nuts. It was the best thing ever. And of course, the Rakaza's just sitting back laughing because he's like, "It tastes fine to me. I got no problem with it."
Wow.
Yeah. It made them get a mad on for the BBEG because later on they had to fight the guy. So it was pretty ingenious that I said, "Well, you get the little hint." And the other player was like not mad at all because we did a separate combat where like he was captured and killed and he literally lost. So I said, he goes, "What are you going to do with the body?" I said, "I got an idea." And he's like, "That's cool. I'll make a new character up." So yeah, he rolled up a new one. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Hey, Brian.
Awesome.
Remember I asked Full On the other show that I hope you're at the North Texas RPG Con because I got to get in a game with you. I'm glad Cory isn't.
Yes,
nothing wrong with the way
Cory
I
can be an evil bastard sometimes. And well, there it is. Enough said. I don't have to.
Yeah,
say
there it
anything
is.
more.
Yeah. Halfling stew. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
I can't help it if my middle name's Tanari. God.
Chaotic evil. What?
These are Rakshasha, folks. Use them sparingly. You can tell us all about it at osrgaming.org and our website and our email and our number. Let's throw the number up again.
405-806-0555.
Right on, my man. So let's head into the DM's rag.
Well, that's quite a story.
I think it would be fun to run a newspaper.
And here it comes, right over the old plate.
The DM's rag. DM's rag. Hello, rag. We're talking about Fighters Challenge number 1.
Yes.
Now, I've got to admit, I've never looked at any of the challenges. Whenever they're in the store, I always pass them up for the other shinier things. And so give us a little idea what the challenge series is about.
Okay. The challenge series was created in order to, for like a twofold purpose. For, a game where there's maybe like 1 or 2 players, which is what I used this module for back in the day, or or as like a side adventure for those who just want to get some extra experience points to get a level or 2 before they rejoin the main party. Fighters Challenge, basically what this first one is that the PC. I'll use it singular because it's more of a solo module with supporting Cassidy. Huh?
Kind of a one-on-one.
Yeah, it's more or less a solo module. This one was, you go into this rundown town which has fallen on really hard times, and there are a lot of mysteries and little plots and missions for the PC to kind of navigate his way through, all the way to the end. Now I've run this module from beginning to end with my ex-roommate. Yes, I have. And when her character came in, she was I think she was second level. By the time caveat to that. She was running my custom martial arts class, which is more difficult to advance in than a mage is. You know, you need just 3,000 experience points just to make it second level. So
the class can be found on any of the forums that we listed above. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
that's
exactly.
right. Actually,
or you can
OSR Gaming, you'll find it there.
Yeah, or email the show. I'll send it to you. I don't care. But anyway, that wasn't a plug. That wasn't a plug.
I was totally plugging for you, man.
I was
gonna say.
I was gonna say Corey just turned it into one, and I just rolled with it. But anyway, like I said, what it is that it's sort of like, in a way, a fistful of dollars ish. You know, to where you come into town, there are a bunch of characters, to use the term loosely, around who have their own ambitions and things like that. You can find various PC or NPCs to help you with your quests and things like that. As a matter of fact, there's a bard in there that I took and made a regular NPC. Let's see, but you know, like I said, there's a werewolf, you know, who basically take those who are perceived as something of a threat and lure them out into the wilderness to where her vampire lover will attack them and kill them.
Wait, this turned into Twilight all of a sudden. I don't know if I like this.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Things start getting sparkly. I leave.
No, it ain't. No, nothing sparkly about this. There is basically the leader of the town, captain of the militia, who's like a lawful evil 7th level fighter, or not lawful evil, neutral evil, and he's in league with a group of brigands out in the hills, you know, and you know they are more or less responsible for how downtrodden the town is now, but it's basically just an ignored town, and just this really bad sequence of events happened to where it just completely just, you know, wrecked it. And there are plenty of side missions and things like that. You know, it's personally, I love this kind of stuff because
it's kind of a one-on-one sandbox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there are like I said, side plots, and one of the best parts about it is speaking of Cavaliers, while you're wandering around the town trying to figure out what's going on, you run into an old psychotic Cavalier.
All right, my character.
Yeah, his name is Niklos. I remember this. This was funny actually, but yeah, he is a lawful good Cavalier, and he comes up and he, like, you know, at the beginning he sort of, you know, challenges the, you know, in order to pass with him they got to joust with him. And you know, all you have to do, you don't have to beat him, you just have to fight him. Right. And you know, after you do that, then he's like, okay, you are honorable people, you know, and he will, you know, help you out with some things.
Well, at least he's not a dog riding another dog.
Oh god.
Sir Didymus, yeah.
There's a, I
have been charged to protest this. Anyway,
but yeah, there's a
I digress.
There's a little side thing with a werebore. There's
not a devil swine?
Yeah, werebore. Yeah, no, not a devil swine. Devil swines are much stronger. But you know, there's a germlane there. There's a monster I haven't seen used in a very long time. The
Germalanes. Oh, yes. I love Germalanes.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
Well, I don't love Germalanes. You can't love them. It's against law, but yeah.
Well, no, yeah, that's your personal life. I don't want to know.
I do like the Duragar sector in this. I'm gonna have to put in here on my part the Duragar sector and the two NPCs that you, the two enemies, the people you have to fight. In my opinion, Osnod and Teramai are one's like a noble swashbuckler, and the other one's just a Myrmidon fighter, another class that we covered in an earlier adventure of THACO's Hammer. I've used these people multiple times, not in this campaign, just because of the personality and how they describe them. I found these guys just, I personally, they just stuck out on me, and I've used them other places. They've become recurring villains. And you always have to have the little tissue napkin waving under his nose nobleman with like a mean, angry female fighter guarding his back. I always like that cliche of a bad guy. Just it irks players, you know. I just want to punch him in his face, you know.
Kill them. Yes.
Yeah, well, you were talking about the NPCs in here that are, you know, very their personalities pop and stuff. I used it. I can pull from here and use them other places. They're just it's a great resource.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and even when you're in the underground complex, there are a bunch of slaves that you find where you can find a halfling thief to help you. There's even a drow in here, a drow fighter in here.
Are.
Yep, there's a goblin in here. You know, and the whole thing is, by the time you get, say, 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way through the module, you should have it. If you have anything on the ball, role playing as an NPC or as a PC, you would have at least 5 allies, at least, at least 5, to help you like out with this.
D&D's greatest hits.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I love it.
Okay.
It's absolutely great.
Okay, let's give it a rating. I'm not going to give it a rating because I haven't read it.
Oh,
but how about you, Brian?
This gets a 5 from me. This is
5 stars.
Yeah, this is a perfect module for 1 or 2 players, and this is sort of like this is my definition of a mini campaign, because that's what this is. Your character can make at least 4, maybe 5 levels in this thing by the time you're done with it, and you're going to need it.
Okay. How about our beloved Cory? What do you think?
I wouldn't give it a true number, simply because, like you, I've flipped through it, picked out what I needed at times, but I've never actually sat down and ran it or run it or read it all the way through. It's a hell of a resource. I mean, I'd give it a 4 on its resource alone, plus the fact that, you know, you got freaking Carl Waller, Mark Nelson, and Jim Holloway doing the artwork inside, and everybody remembers that I love the art. So
yeah, it's great art.
Yeah.
So, and your man Steve Winter edited this.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We're looking at 9 divided by 2.
4.5.
4.5. Yeah. So, Fighters Challenge 1. And what is the TSR number? What?
That is 9330.
Yep.
Okay, TSR number 9330. Check it out. Tell us how you like it. THACOsHammer@gmail.com and all the other places. Well, looks like we're ready to close another Splat book, guys.
Yep.
Cory, it's nice to have you back.
Thanks, man. Good to be back. I miss you guys.
I hope you'll come back for many more.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're a little restricted right now, but we are going to get you back full time before you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. When March rolls around, look out. They're going. Just be warned, people. We're going to have, you know, 4. We're going to have 4 guests. We're going to have rotating, you know, bunches of 3 as, you know, our personal lives may dictate and whatnot. So stay tuned. I mean, it's great to have Cory back,
and the double threat of Cory and Full On Gamer on the same show.
Oh no! And then there's the threat of Bad Mike too making his return. Once the con is over and done with.
That's later on, a few months from now. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna have some pretty good shows coming up. So stick around. Yep. Well, I guess we're gonna get out of here. Say goodbye, Brian.
Goodbye, Brian.
Okay, how about you, Cory? You want to say goodbye to all your big fans out there?
Good night, ladies and germs. I'll see you next time.
And if you're playing Cory's game, stay out of the sewers.
That's right. You might get your arm chopped off.
Or your leg.
So this is DM Glenn saying we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye.
See ya.
You guys got your characters ready? I want to see them.
Yep, here we go.
Okay.
If you're going to get up, give me something to drink, will you?
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
Oh, I like this.
What am I, your wife all of a sudden?
Hell no.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOsHammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOsHammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the 2nd edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.